Welcome everyone. I go by the name of Camilio Salamander and my co-host KB the Mark.
Cause I'm a fucking mark for this shit.
You are watching the featured number one wrestling podcast show on YouTube. With that being said, welcome to the D&B podcast. So this was the go home show for Raw. Did it do good? We're about to find out. So Raw opened up with a promo from Drew McIntyre. So tensions is at its all-time high right now. In the build-up, it starts to make sense to me. You know, it's been 16 years before, and Bobby, he finally got the belt. It was 17 years for Drew. So, and then Drew did make a point that he got screwed over by Bobby because he made a deal with Miz, who was a Money in the Bank holder, cashed it in on Drew, and then a week later, he beat Miz. So, it led to Bobby coming out, and that led to trash talk, and that led to King Corbin coming out, and that led to the main event that we will have tonight. So what you
I hated this. I hated every minute of it. I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand Drew McIntyre out there for 10 minutes, and he tried to touch the sentimental part of me, talking about I was over here. My mom was sick overseas, and I couldn't go home to be with her. And I'm like, I don't care about none of that. I don't even care that you've been out here for 10 minutes cutting a promo. Like, what is this? You're talking about you want to be this man of action. Yeah, every week to start off, all I hear is 10 minutes of you talking. I don't see a lot of action. I see a lot of talking. I don't see no action. And then what make it worse is, why is Drew McIntyre always trying to challenge somebody to a fight? I have a problem with that. I get it, bro. You're a top babyface, but come on now.
That's his gimmick. He's a badass. He loves to fight.
First off, there's only one man who loves to fight in WWE, and it ain't Drew. It ain't Drew.
He's a monitor. They both Irish. No, he's Scottish.
Yeah, he's Scottish.
Yeah, he's Scottish. I mean, it worked.
I mean, I guess to you, but this was still bad.
I like the promo. I did, because it's setting stuff up, but then he did make some valid points and everything, but I still got Bobby coming off at the top, no matter what. He's still gonna come off at the top of the win.
I say this every time we talk about Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is going to get booed so hard come Saturday. And Vinnie Mac has this thing in his mind to where you can program who the crowd cheers for, and it works in an empty arena. But boy, oh boy, come Saturday, and you hear Drew McIntyre's music hit, and 45,000 boos come raining down. We're going to see if Vinnie Mac has the balls to pull a swerve.
In the Probably changing once he hear that reaction. Ooh.
He better.
I pencil down winning.
Listen, I have no doubt as of right now, Drew McIntyre is scheduled to win that match. But I feel like once he hears these boos, he's gonna have to make a decision. If I'm a
better man, I'll bet for Bobby Lashley. Tell me. He coming out at the top.
That's it. That's if Vinnie Mac pulls a switch.
If Vinnie Mac's smart, he'll have Bobby Lashley keep the title.
He already broke up the Hurt Business.
But yeah, I still think it's something new to that, something else.
I mean, Samoa Joe was back on commentary, so that pretty much destroyed our theory.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still hope there. We still got King Corbin, but we might have what I'm thinking and I'm hoping for Keith Lee.
I guess.
I mean, you never know where Keith Lee come out there helping on WrestleMania.
I guess. I didn't like it.
No, Paul Heyman is something else. I mean, not Paul. I'm tripping. That's not even the right person. But You never know. MVP could pull some strings.
I have no doubt MVP can pull some strings.
Yeah.
It's WWE that I'm worried about.
He gonna get him because like he basically all he got to do is say you see the success that he was able to pull with Cedric and Shelton Benjamin and keep leaving sign on.
We go back to the Keith Lee wrestling like a traditional big man, or are we getting the Keith Lee that made Keith Lee Keith Lee?
That will keep him.
That's all it boils down to.
That's the smart thing they should do. Keep him how he is, but just have him good. Same way he wrestles now. Keep him still athletic, doing all that shit.
Yeah.
All they need to do is put somebody like small and athletic too with him. Yeah, and then have a Ricochet.
I don't know if they're. I don't know if Ricochet's ready.
Yeah, he ain't gonna be here no time soon.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't see that yet. But right after that, we got Xavier Woods versus AJ Styles. Now, the beginning of this match, it looked like AJ was going to win. Of course, you know he hit him with the Craft Crusher and everything. Kofi caused a distraction through the mic at Omos. You know, that caused a distraction. This led into a roll-up pin, and Xavier Woods won. But led to a lot of taunting and everything. This match, you know, it's so what, you know. But it just makes me want to, like, this is one of the matches I'm intrigued to see at WrestleMania and everything. So I'm willing to let this slide if the match at WrestleMania really pays off. And by it paying off, Omos, he has to be good in the ring. If he's good in the ring, this whole rivalry and all that stuff, it pays off.
Omos has to be great in the ring. I don't know if you noticed, but AJ Styles is 0-3 in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So that shows me mainly one thing that AJ Styles and Omos are going over. You're not going to have AJ Styles lose 4 weeks in a row, especially not 3 weeks leading up to WrestleMania and then WrestleMania.
And then, the New Day, they don't even need no titles at this point at all. And then for AJ to be the person to give Undertaker his last match, and then there is a rumor that AJ wanted to give Triple H his last match. So if he's worthy enough to give Undertaker his last match, they gonna go over. He's not gonna lose that many times.
I would love for this to be AJ's little WrestleMania gimmick. He just goes around slaying all of the beasts of WWE past at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And he slowly works his way. He started with The Undertaker. He gets Triple H. If only you could do Shawn Michaels. Because Shawn Michaels has been pretty legit about his retirement. But if you could somehow pull that off, and then he just starts slaying everybody else from past WrestleMania greats. But you have to remember with that, they have to be able to at least give him a little bit of something, because he can't carry the whole match. He can carry the whole match, but whoever he is going against needs to put something in as well.
Correct. So, following that match, we got Braun Strowman versus Elias and Jackson Riker. So, it started with a promo by Braun. My opinion, the promo was decent. You know, it's good to see Braun do something different other than sit there and, just sit there and look like a big dude, like a monster or whatever. But he's actually, his promo was actually decent to me. And the match, the match was average. It was just to show how strong Braun was, and just the fact showing that Shane is in over his head for real. That's everything I can sum this up to.
I hated this promo as well. For one, why are we cutting this promo in a steel cage? We already know it's a steel cage match. Why do I need to see him cutting this promo in the steel cage itself?
Right.
You could have just kept the cage up and had him point up to the cage. I didn't need to see Braun Strowman in the cage. He's talking about fake report card this, and this is for everybody that's been bullied. Last time I checked, wasn't he bullying Roman Reigns 2 to 3 years ago, throwing chairs at him, actual computer chairs? when he throwing chairs at him.
Yep.
Like, wasn't he just ragdolling this man all over the place?
Yep.
Like, come on now, what are we talking about? And then you put him in there with Jackson, Riker, and Elias. Why did this match even go 5 minutes?
We kind of seen something like that last week. It wasn't a match, but we've seen them, basically jump on and everything. So, I mean, you're giving us the same content week after week.
Week after week, but I'm just more so talking about why did it go so long? Braun Strowman could have just knocked them both out and then hit running power slams. And then did you see how he was trying to drag him on top of him to pin them both?
Yeah, you like on Jackson neck. I'm like, dang, you choking him.
Yeah. I'm like, you guys should have rewrote this segment completely. Yeah. It makes no sense.
All right, so then we got the whole women's segment. We got Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler versus Asuka and Rhea Ripley. So in my opinion, the match started off good, had a bunch of back and forth. Rhea and Asuka, they kept trying to run up each other. Rhea ended up pushing Asuka off the top rope, which caused, and then throw her back in the ring, which caused Shayna to hit her with a knee and then get the pinfall. So after this, they went backstage, and all of the women that is involved in the tag match on night one had a segment backstage arguing. And my main point is that you brought up Billie Kay is looking for a tag team partner. If she's looking for a tag team partner, why do you break her up? She already had a tag team partner. Ain't no point. And like I said this last week on the SmackDown review. SmackDown is 2 hours long. They had their women's segment was basically 5 minutes. This show's 3 hours long. This segment is basically, you might as well say 10 minutes. 10 out of the 3 hour show. I mean, the segment might be good, but it's just a 10-minute segment. They could have did something better than that, in my opinion. I mean, it's horrible to me. I mean, they giving all the spotlight. Everybody else, you able to go out there. It could be Matt Riddle and Mustafa Ali go out there and have a 15-minute match, but you tell Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler go out there and they have a 2-minute match, and they have a 5-minute segment, and that's it. And you don't see no other women for the rest of the show. I call bullshit on that. That's why I be saying give women wrestling a chance, because it's plain bullshit. You ain't giving them a chance to develop these storylines. So what if you can't show me you can't put the time and pace into these storylines, why should I tune into them? That's all I'm saying.
Once again, I think you're being incredibly too hard on these women's segments. This was a really good women's segment to me. It was kind of sporadic throughout the end with all of the tag teams, but I thought the match was good. I did not like that we were so quick to go with the Rhea Ripley heel turn. Mm-hmm. Especially since in NXT she was a beloved babyface. I was really digging the double babyface dynamic between Rhea and Asuka. It tells a great story. Asuka was with the Kabuki Warriors last year for WrestleMania. Rhea Ripley was challenging, but not challenged. She was defending her NXT Women's Championship against Charlotte. And remember, I believe they were the first match of night 1 or night 2. It might have been night 2. I think they were the first match of night 2. And they knocked it out the park, man. So I was really loving just this dynamic of face Rhea versus a face Asuka. And I would be okay with the heel turn if it would have happened at WrestleMania. After she beats her for the title, and then she just turns heel on her after that. So now we've kind of set up, okay, Rhea Ripley is this badass who doesn't care whether she wins or loses. She's just out here to prove a point. Right. We could have done that at WrestleMania instead of doing it the 5 days out, which I understand. I understand why you want to set the foundation and the dynamic for the match at WrestleMania. So I get it. I understand. The women's segment in the back with all of the different tag teams, I think Billie Kay won't even make the pay-per-view. I think she's going to be replaced by Bayley, and it's going to be Carmella and Bayley beating Sasha Banks and Nia Jax. I'm sorry, not Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax for the women's tag team titles?
I don't know who's gonna win. That's kind of hard on that one. I'm thinking it might be Natalya and Tamina.
It might be. You never know.
That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm leaning towards. But following this, we got Bobby Lashley versus Cedric Alexander. But before the match, we had the backstage segment with Cedric and Shelton pressing MVP. Now, in my opinion, neither Shelton or Cedric looked weak to me during this whole match. Bobby, he put them both to sleep with the hurt lock, and Bobby, he looking strong going into WrestleMania. But neither of them jobbed out. I like how, Cedric, he got some offense in, Shelton, they realized, Bobby, he big and shit. So they use that to his advantage. Whether if he was distracting them getting involved, to me, I feel like it just didn't make, like, it didn't hurt neither of them either, even though they both got put to sleep. Like, I feel like next week after WrestleMania, like, they could still, function as a tag, just them two, and still, be good and still be in a competition to be, running off for tag team championships.
I can see that. I can definitely see why you say that. I felt as though they didn't come off looking weak either, but I'm also going to say they didn't come off looking good to me. Like, it was they didn't look bad. They didn't look good. Cedric wasn't squashed out. They had a decent match. Yeah. Shelton was doing the best he could on the outside. I mean, even though you did get put to sleep, it is by the almighty Bobby Lashley. Me, I just felt like the match went maybe 3 to 5 minutes too long.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Like, it really felt like it just went on just a tad bit too long for me. Because it's like Bobby just kept throwing him outside the ring, and I'm like, what are you doing? Just trying to show Shelton what you can do? He already can see that. He's outside looking at you in the ring, decimate this man. Why you got to keep throwing him out there?
All right.
But that's just me.
Yeah. So then we got the segment of Miz and Morrison attacking Bad Bunny car. So, they went ahead and painted on his car and everything. And then, Bad Bunny came out, seen what happened, and then he got attacked from behind. So to me, his selling was average. It's decent. For him to be a music star or whatever. He got a couple experience in acting, playing music videos and whatever. So his selling and stuff is decent. But it led to a promo with Damian Priest adding himself into the match, making it a tag team. So Bad Bunny, he's definitely winning. Definitely.
Hey, hop. Bad Bunny's time.
They're not gonna let no celebrity lose at WrestleMania. It's been proven. All the celebrities who was involved in a match at WrestleMania, celebrities undefeated at WrestleMania. Undefeated.
Hey, hop. Bad Bunny's time is on the clock. He's gonna win. That's the crazy part. He's gonna win, and he's gonna pin the Miz.
Yeah.
But I like this segment though. $3.6 million Bugatti, all white. On top of that, nice little interior on the inside too.
Yeah.
I was really messing with it.
They ain't really do that much, damn it. It ain't nothing, but
it looked like watercolor paint. Yeah. You take a water hose to it, he'd be all right. He probably
they bust a few little sign there. I'm like, all right, but nah, that's come on.
Listen, Vinny, he probably sat down with Vinny Mac. Vinny Mac was like, Bad Bunny, we want to destroy one of your cars, the most expensive one you got. He said, well, I do got this 3.6 Bugatti. Oh yeah, we want to throw paint on it. Whoa. What type of paint? You can do watercolor. Ah, shit, kid. Yeah, bro, only watercolor. I have to do. It's the Miz and John Morrison. Who cares?
So, how you feel about Damian Priest, entering himself into the match?
I always knew it was gonna be that.
Yeah.
I don't even know why they dragged it out. I have no idea why they dragged it out.
Right there for the start, because it makes sense. He beefing with Miz and Morrison with him, and Morrison, he added himself in anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have. He been at his side and shit, and then he called him daddy yesterday too. You heard him? When he came in, he checked on you like, "Hey, puppy."
I mean, bro, that's just a different culture.
Yeah, that's kind of. He should have said pause. But
Man,
following,
it's a different culture, bro. It's a
following
different
this,
culture. Oh, before you continue, I do want to say this: the Bad Bunny promo was not bad, but if they would have just let him cut it in his native tongue the whole time through, and then had him finish with what he said in English, I would have liked this so much better.
mm-hmm.
I didn't like the English, and then he goes into his native language, and then he comes back. They should have just let him cut it in his native language.
Yeah, it would have been. It would have sounded better.
Yeah.
But we got Matt Riddle or Riddle. I keep forgetting they shorten people's names versus Mustafa Ali. So one thing I noticed about this match is I don't know who was on commentary. I think it was Byron Saxton, but somebody kept mispronouncing his name, and that was very like irritating to me. They kept calling like it wasn't Mustafa, it was like Mustafa. They kept calling Mustafa Ali.
Was it Sheamus?
Nah, it was somebody who was like, who's on commentary.
Sheamus was on commentary for that match.
Nah, like, permanent commentary. It was
Tom Phillips.
It was somebody, because it was like they said it whatever in the backstage segment when Sheamus was there, and that was like Mustafa Ali and Riddle up next, and I'm like, that kind of threw me off, and I was like, okay, maybe he messed up. And then when it came on and it was wrestling, and then he said his name again, I'm like, okay, now y'all messing with me. But that's the thing that kept triggering my eye, because I was like, I was into the match, and it was like every time they said his name, it was that one person, because the next person, they say his name right and everything, but it was like he just can't. It's like he couldn't pronounce it though. But everything. I think the match was pretty good. And then I did like how Matt Riddle caught Mustafa Ali in the air, and then did his finisher, then stared down Sheamus the whole time. I like that. That's gonna be a great match at WrestleMania. A hard hitting match. Like I said, I love the matches like that. So this will be very hard hitting. It might be one of the running up a match of the night.
So I thought the backstage segment with them was better than the match itself.
You think?
If I hadn't seen this match already, I would have the same mentality as you. But I've seen this match like twice, and it's like you said earlier, WWE just giving us the same content over and over and over again.
Right.
But the backstage segment, Mustafa and Sheamus are just talking. Next thing you know, here comes Matt Riddle on the scooter in between them. And I'm like, yeah, bro, that's somebody who ain't got a care in the world.
Yeah.
He don't care at all.
Man. So, I'm thinking that in that match at WrestleMania, Mustafa, whatever name he's going by now, he's gonna be involved some way, somehow. Like he's gonna get involved.
I don't think so. I already told you. I think Matt Riddle's gonna get his head kicked off in 8 seconds.
They're gonna play that little rivalry for like the next couple of months. It's like that's a little 3-way rivalry you can do. So after WrestleMania, you keep doing it a little bit longer. Even like you take Matt Riddle out, you got one person, so you got Mustafa Ali, you can do it. So I could see him, because that was the go home show he was still involved in this match. He tried to get revenge, but he lost. So he gonna be involved in it some type of way. He gonna do something. Rather if that's just him coming out and causing a distraction or getting involved in the match for real. But it's gonna be something to watch.
I can see it.
We got the main event. We got Drew McIntyre versus King Corbin. So, this was Drew McIntyre getting his payback from last week. No matter what happened in the match, no matter MVP throwing him his cane and everything don't matter. Drew, he's still tall, no matter what. It's an average match, very predictable. I knew Drew was going over. It's very obvious. It's a go-home show. Everybody got a little strong. They really playing that card of who gonna win, because Bobby and Drew been booked very strong. So they playing the card like, you know, it's a very possibility that it could go either way, which I like. So, but I mean, this match was obvious. I mean, it was obvious. It was decent. I mean, nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah, very average match. You knew who was coming out on top on this one. You know, WWE doesn't really like to pull too many swerves. So, yeah, it you know, I feel like this is one of those matches that went a little bit too long as well.
Right.
You shave this down maybe 5 minutes and maybe throw another match on there or another segment, because I would have loved to see a Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss segment this week on the show, so we can go home for that.
Yeah, they should have pushed that more or something. Like, this match didn't have to go on last. So it could have went in like in the middle for real.
I mean, now I would have kept it as the main event. I would have kept it as the main event just because of the people in it and the storyline that is involved in. So I would keep it on the main event there, but I wouldn't have started it so early. I would have started it probably around the 10:45, 10:50 mark, so they could go 10 minutes.
But you see what I mean? How you were saying like certain matches went too long and everything. Yeah. See, them long matches and stuff that would kind of carry over. That could have been time given to the women's segment or giving women more screen time on TV or whatever. I get it now. It's a road to WrestleMania, so whoever is on the WrestleMania card or got to do like involved in it is going to be the main people getting pushed from the moment of January on to WrestleMania. So I understand that point, but even before that, you know, they were still doing the same stuff. So I mean, but this is hopefully they get the memo, and after this WrestleMania, you know, it's basically a new season, so they really start over and actually push their women. Hopefully.
I can see that.
But if you had to rate this show out of 10, what would you give it?
I'm going to give it a 4 this week. Decent action. A decent action that really had me not on the edge of my seat, but it definitely had me entertained more than last week. Storylines and the decision makings is still bad on the show. But, you know, when you have a couple matches that are decent, it can really bump up that rating. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10.
All right. So I'm giving it a 6 out of 10. You know, like I said, all the women's segments was sum up into one whole segment. You know, the tag match that led into the backstage segment, and that was all. So, you know how I am. That hurts the show to me. That hurted the show, and plus, you know, they basically ran like a traditional show, you know, promo, match, promo. You know, it was basically the same thing. You know, okay, I got to build up this match that I got going for WrestleMania. You know, go get that match out, let him cut a promo. Same thing and so forth and so forth. That's all it was. It was just more of them standing, pushing more of the storylines. You know, really it. But I feel like they could have went all out more, especially for the go home show. But you had to give a match of the night. Who would you give it to?
I'm going to give my match of the night to the women's tag team match of Rhea Ripley and Asuka versus Nia and Shayna. A lot of back and forth. I like the dissension that they had sown with the Rhea Ripley promo before the match, and just of how her and Asuka were working in the tag team. I'm really keeping an eye on Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler, and Reginald. I don't know if you've seen her, but she did push Reggie out the way during the entrance, so I'm keeping a very close eye on that. That actually has my attention. And Reggie doing the dives on the apron will always impress me.
Like, you know, when they lose, like, it's not if they gonna lose. When they lose that tag team belt, it's gonna be like in the result of Reginald. You know, he may cause him to lose, but it may be by accident, not intentionally. But it's gonna, cause you know, whenever they lose it, they gonna go ahead and break them up and have them do their single stuff anyway. So that's all that is leading to, just building up their credibility much more before they go ahead and push them off as a single star. Because they dropped the ball with Shayna when she first came up. She should have been like Asuka. She should have been undefeated in the main roster for a while. She should have been undefeated for like 2 years. I had her undefeated till Ronda come back for real, and then push that her and Ronda match. That's what they dropped. In my opinion, they dropped the ball with that.
I mean, that could be a whole topic one day.
Right. We gonna get into it though, future episodes. So you know, look at it. But I'm giving my matchup tonight to Bobby versus Cedric Alexander. You know, like I said, I feel like nobody came out looking weak in this match. You know, and I like how they're telling two stories at once. You know, they're telling the Hurt Business breakup story, and they're telling the Drew versus Bobby story at the same time. So, and they pretty consistent with it. You know, when them segments come on, I don't get bored off of it. So that's good. But your wrestler of the night.
I'm gonna give my wrestler of the night to Miss Rhea Ripley. I like the heel turn. I like you pushing her off of the top rope. I just like the direction. I've always been a fan of the Rhea Ripley character. Even when she was NXT Women's Champion, I didn't want her to lose to Charlotte last year. It's something about this character, and I feel like even though they jumped the heel turn, I feel like she's gonna start doing some magic, especially if she goes over Asuka on what day is their match? Sunday, their night 2.
They night 1.
No, they can't be night 1 because Shayna, because Sasha and Bianca are night 1.
Oh, well, they night 2.
I think I think that's going to be one of the sleeper matches as well that a lot of people aren't going to be talking about. But when you look back at it, when you look back at the card and you look back at the match, you're like, that was a really, really good match between those two.
I can see if Rhea wins, I can really see like that it's a start of a reset for the women's division, at least on Raw. You know.
Well, you know, I said that last week. You know, put the belt on Rhea and just do a complete reset.
Yeah,
we resetting all stories.
But after this WrestleMania, if everything goes well, I can also see them, you know, going ahead and, you know, trying to like break up, you know, the Thunderdome, go ahead, you know, start letting fans in and whatever, torn again and stuff. And then that way we can actually get the brand split, you know. Then, because that's what I'm waiting for. Cause I don't think Big E gonna turn heel till they like leave for the Thunderdome. Because New Day's still popping up and everything. So once when they like go back and do the brand split, and they start touring like how everything was normal, then that's when we gonna get the Big E that we all want and everything. But you know, my wrestler tonight, you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, for 2 weeks in a row, you know, we got Bobby Lashley, you know. So I didn't even say more. He's the almighty WWE champion. You know, ain't no need to say more. You know, he put people to sleep. He put 2 people to sleep this week. You know, he about to put 3 people to sleep this week, including Drew McIntyre. He going to sleep. Yeah, I'm telling you, the almighty will stand tall by the end of the week. I'm telling you. We're gonna bring in next week Monday Night Raw with an almighty Bobby Lashley ceremony. I'm calling it now. They better do that.
I hear you, boss. I hear you.
They better open up. It should be no reason why Raw shouldn't open up with a segment. It should be a ceremony, and they should have all the superstars. You know, like I had all the jobbers and shit come out, and probably like a couple mid card, like, you know, known faces and shit come out ringside. You know, like that little segment where they had with Shawn Michaels' return on Randy Orton. Well, the man was in the ring, was like, you know, y'all all basically give him y'all props or whatever. Like they had that ceremony for Randy. That's what they should do for Bobby. And Bobby should just go in on them, like talking about like how trash everybody is and everything. Yeah. And then, you know, music hit. I don't know who music hit. I'll tell y'all next week. But music hit. And then that start the next feud. No, music hit and it's Brock Lesnar. Yeah. He's going in on the roster or whatever. Then you hear that. Then it's Brock.
Listen.
Yeah.
If they do that, the crowd, unless they're still doing it in the Thunderdome, that pop is going to be huge.
They might as well make Raw and SmackDown in the same arena as WrestleMania for real. To set it up as Raw and SmackDown, but keep the same fans in there. Might as well. But if they do it that way, that'd be the perfect one. See, but Brock, it's different though because Brock he don't have Paul Heyman. So it'd be way different.
See, if I was going to do it, I would do that first show back in front of fans as a super show of Raw and SmackDown.
So how would you book that? Like, what would be? So who you got going over for the Bobby and Drew match?
Bobby.
So how would you book the Raw after WrestleMania?
I
feud like the Drew McIntyre and Bobby Lashley feud is done. So you got to push a new feud. So how would you open it? Like, how would you do it?
So if Bobby Lashley goes over, I do like your idea of the celebration, because I would keep the celebration. But instead of Brock Lesnar's music, what you would see is the NXT champion carrying Cross, carrying him on his shoulder to the ring.
Carrying who?
Bobby Lashley.
Like he knocked him out and shit?
Yeah, like he knocked him out as he was getting ready to walk out backstage, but you don't see that. You just see Bobby Lashley getting carried. Carrying Cross throws him into the ring, and he cuts the promo of I'm the new thing in town, and even though I'm the NXT champion, I am here to make a statement. And then his wife flips an hourglass, and you never hear from Karrion Kross again until maybe, I would say, SummerSlam. But see, what I've already started doing is long-term booking your next WWE champion. Yeah. Now we can throw those little feuds out there for Bobby to just so we can get to SummerSlam, but still make it look meaningful. Honestly, I would do a trade with SmackDown, and I would do a trade with SmackDown, and I would get, if Daniel Bryan does not go over, I'm bringing Daniel Bryan to Raw, and I'm having him feud with Bobby Lashley for a majority of the time until we get to SummerSlam.
So my next thing is on SmackDown. You know, you already know, I'll tell you my prediction. You know, Roman hits Daniel with the spear, and then Roman turns, get hit with the spear, momentarily take him out, as and Daniel become champion, right? So the SmackDown after Mania, I'll book something like, you know, I don't want to book the same thing, like I don't want the ceremony or nothing like that. But I would have something like, you know, Edge kind of promo or whatever, you know, basically saying that, you know, I told you I was gonna do it, told you, you know, the ultimate opportunist is back or whatever. And then you hear Shock the System or his new theme song or whatever. And then, you know, Adam Cole come out.
Ooh.
What's that, Adam Cole versus Edge?
Ooh, I like that.
But I'll make that long, like a little long term though and stuff. And then, because I'll be building towards, you know, have Adam Cole be the future Universal Champion.
I can see that.
His own little undisputed era on the main roster. Eventually,
I was gonna say I would let him have undisputed era, but I would let him run roughshod with the title for about 4 or 5 months. Maybe he goes over like 2-3 different people, but he gets to this one person, whoever it is, and he can't beat them. So he goes back to NXT and he brings back the undisputed era. Maybe there's a time when Kyle O'Reilly is getting beat up down there, and he shows his face. And like brothers in arms, he snatches him up. And on that SmackDown that same week, all you hear is Shock the System. And you know, the fans, if their fans are gonna go stupid, like no. And then you just see all four, because you gotta grab Roddy too. You see, what is it? Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, and Roddy. Yeah, you gotta grab Roddy too. and the crowd's going nuts. They can't believe that Undisputed Era is on SmackDown.
Yeah, and I'll put back, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish as the tag, and push Roger Strong as the Intercontinental. Like push him to go after that belt and stuff. Have it like that. That's how they should do. Or rotate it too, whatever. Like rotate between, the three, Roger Strong, Bobby Fish, and Kyle O'Reilly. Rotate whatever. That's how I have it. So
I like that. I like that though.
Yeah, but we only see. We'll see next week how they gonna do. We'll see any surprises or whatever. But everybody be on the lookout for our predictions for the Raw after Mania and the SmackDown after Mania. But that's a wrap, guys. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the D&B Podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until then, we'll see you on the next one.